Hello everyone, this is Arrow, and welcome back to Sundown Luna Podfics. Today we'll be continuing Stray Cat by SkylarSkyHigh and Terox X. Chapter 5, Summary. Shouta has something important to tell Sakutsuchi. As Shouta walked into the police station, he felt sick. The paper in his pocket felt so heavy. It felt like he was carrying a brick instead of a piece of paper. He didn't want to, but that would be disrespectful to the kid. Both kids. He needed to talk to Sakutsuchi. He needed to understand. He didn't know what he needed. Probably an additional weekly therapy session. He looked up when he reached Sakutsuchi's office and knocked numbly. He took a deep breath to calm himself. The door opened and Sakutsuchi stared at him in confusion. "Eraser, this is a surprise," he said with a confused but happy face. He looked so kind. But what the kid had said rang around in his head. Was Sakutsuchi really, truly innocent? "You look horrible," the detective said worriedly. "Long patrol? Did you find your stray?" Something angry, hot, and painful reared in his ugly head. The knowledge of what Sakutsuchi had done, coupled with his instant question about Shouta's stray, made him angry. He took the piece of paper and shoved it at Sakutsuchi. Sakutsuchi blinked in confusion and took the paper. "What's this? Some new info?" He opened it up and paled, staring at the paper in horror. "Akatani," he muttered in shock. Aizawa raised a brow. "So it was you." Sakutsuchi stared up at Shouta with wide eyes. "It was me? What? What happened? Why is Akatani? Where did you get this?" "Stray," Shouta replied. "Eraser?" Sakutsuchi looked at him seriously. What did he say? How did he even get this? Shouta stepped into the office and closed the door behind him. Sakutsuchi stepped back and stared. "Eraser? What's going on?" "Torture until suicide," Shouta replied quietly. If Sakutsuchi could get any paler, he would. It looked like he was doused in cold water. "What? But he stared down at the paper. "He has no scars." "Mental scars. They broke him. They tortured him for 3 years. He was a 12-year-old. They said he was safe," Sakutsuchi whispered, faint. Tears were in his eyes. "They said he was happy with his new family." Shouta shook his head. "Abused until he killed himself." Sakutsuchi tilted his head down and shut his eyes as he tried not to cry. Shouta got a glimpse of the picture when Sakutsuchi tilted his hands. A boy greeted him, lying in a pool of blood, head cracked open with his brain spilled out. His clothes were soaked in blood. Shouta noticed the strange cuffs on his wrists and ankles. But the kid, he was smiling. A tiny smile, barely there. It really had been a suicide. He wanted to be free. Shouta bit his lip and looked away. 3 years, he whispered out. "What happened?" Sakutsuchi asked quietly. "How did your stray even... They said he had a family." "No, he didn't," Shouta replied. "My stray met him. He didn't specify how. He hates me." Sakutsuchi sighed and sat down at his desk. He stared at his desk sadly. "I'm guessing you have questions," he said. "You have that look on your face." Shouta nodded slowly. "His name was Akatani Mikumo," Sakutsuchi said. "He was a quirkless vigilante, like your stray, only he was more hands-on and violent. He caught himself looking pale. Had 2 different personalities and constantly switched between them, giving everyone whiplash trying to catch up. An underground hero, Shadow, brought him in, and since I was most familiar with vigilantes, I was assigned for his case. The court deemed him apathetic towards his crimes. He wouldn't stop cursing at the stands and was violent. From what I know, he used to have a family before they were killed. He was switched between foster homes until he ran away and became a vigilante. With no family, he was the state's responsibility. Sakutsuchi covered his face. He had a history of running away. Those cuffs on his wrist would activate and attach his hands behind his back. It would be controlled by a remote given to someone trustworthy and automatically activate if he was a certain distance away. They told me they found a safe place for him. They told me he was getting better. Shouta looked away. Your quirk, he pointed out. They didn't lie, Sakutsuchi said in despair. They didn't lie. What happened to him? He was so young. Shouta stared at the floor. What could he even say? Those people had told Sakutsuchi what they had believed was the truth. Akatani had been safe. No, he hadn't been safe. He'd been in a secure location where he would never run away or be free. Akatani had been happy. He hadn't been. They thought his broken spirit had been a sign of happiness, that his compliance had been loyalty. They'd broken him. They'd known what they'd been doing, and they'd fed half-truths to Sakutsuchi. If he hadn't said anything, Sakutsuchi would continue to look for the poor boy, to make sure he had a home and was living a happy life. He never wanted anything like this to happen. Never again should a kid have to go through this. But what could he even do? Kids like Akatani and Stray suffered because of this broken system. They tried to get help, but they were captured and tortured instead. What could one person even do to help, to fix a broken system that killed innocent kids? He knew he had to do something, or else more people would die. Just, what could one person even do? He didn't know, but he'd do his best to find out. Alright everyone, that is the end of Stray Cat Chapter 6. Since this is such a short fic and there's only 11 chapters, I didn't want to do 2 in a row. I kind of wanted to drag the story out as much as I could. So I hope you enjoyed listening, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!